Welcome back to Talk of the Town on 99.7, 1450 WHTC and WHTC.com.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town for this Friday, December 2nd. I'm Gary Stevens. First Friday of the month. This time we get an update from the Community Foundation of the Holland, Zeeland area. And that means we are joined by its president, Mike Goorhouse, on the other side of our Zoom connection this morning. Mike, good morning. Hope all is well with you and your family as we approach the blessed time of year known as Christmas.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's good to be here, and it is a wonderful, wonderful season, isn't it?
Season of giving, which unfortunately sort of ends on Boxing Day in terms of the mentality of some people, which, as I say, it's unfortunate. And that's where the Community Foundation steps in because their season of giving goes far beyond December 25th. If you got a question about the Community Foundation, Mike Goorhouse be happy to answer it at 616-395-1450, 616-395-1450. Mike, I have to put on my news director hat. Need to ask you, the announcement was made last month of your decision to step down after a very successful tenure as president of the Community Foundation of the Holland, Zeeland area. There is an important letter that's on the webpage at cfhz.org. You can get to a link on that. But since you published that letter and since the announcement was made, can you shed any light as to A, what led the decision, and B, what will Mike Goorhouse be doing, say, on December 2nd, 2024 or 23?
23, yeah. It's a big decision. And for me personally, of course, but also for the organization, leadership transitions are, they happen, right? I mean, I wasn't going to be the president forever, but you do have to navigate them well and thoughtfully and intentionally. And so I wish some people, they don't always appreciate this answer because they want to know, they feel like there's got to be more. But the simple answer is I was ready to pursue something different. And it's not anything about the Holland Zeeland Foundation in any sort of negative way at all. I love this. I mean, I could do this forever. I mean, this is just my calling in so many ways. It's a perfect fit for me and my skill set. I also think I'm making a difference in my community, which is what I love. And I think people appreciate different ways I show up. So things are going great. Things are going awesome. But I've been here 11 years now, and thinking about the different ways that I could make a difference in this world. You start to think about, is there a different seat, a different angle, a different approach? Can I push myself to grow and learn in some new ways? Not that I'm not learning it every single day here at the Holland Zeeland Foundation, but push myself into see what else I could do with my skills. And so I started thinking about that, and really through a discernment process did feel like I was being called to make that transition. The other thing that's true about that is I want to do this well. So I'm going to be here until the new president starts. I mean, it'll take some time to identify a new president, have them join the team. And so I wanted to give the board some runway to do that and be here until the new president starts. I also want to take a little bit of time off. These leadership roles take a lot of effort and energy and sacrifice from family and personally as well. So this is kind of there's really a full year to this, from when I first started telling my board to when it got public, to we'll identify a new president, till I do a nice smooth handoff to new president, take a couple 2-3 months off to hang out with my wife and kids and take care of myself. And really it'll be next summer before I start what's next. So the cool part is that is going to be an amazing season. I think we're going to do this really well, and we're thoughtfully, intentionally. And it also means that I don't have the next thing lined up because if anyone was looking to hire somebody, they would not probably want to wait till next August. So this is going to be a season of trust for me. And I believe there's opportunities out there where I can make a difference in the world. And I'm going to explore those. I'm going to explore what those possibilities could be over the next 3 to 6 months or so. And by the spring, I would anticipate having a plan for what's next. I honestly don't know what's next. I know I want to make an impact. but there's a lot of different ways you can do that. It doesn't have to be in the foundation world or just in the nonprofit world. There's a lot of different ways you can make an impact in this world. And so I'm excited. I don't know, but I'm like everyone else. I'm excited to see what's going to come next.
I equate that to, as a believer, being called to a mission. And,
Yeah.
you don't know where he's going to lead you.
Yeah. And in fairness, Gary, so, I mean, I am a person of faith, as a Christian. A lot of this was trying to listen to God's will in my life, and prayed a lot about it. And there were multiple times that I felt like, that can't really be the plan. I'm a person who likes to control things, and I have never had less control over my future direction than I do right now, because I don't know what's next. But I feel super called. That is what God wanted me to do. And so I'm trying to listen, trying to be faithful. And I trust that he's got a plan that I may not even have any clue about, that may be out there. So,
all right. If you have a question for Mike Goorhouse, 616-395-1450, 616-395-1450. We'll touch upon some of the things that's going on in the foundation in a few moments, but I want to pass on a couple of things that came to mind as the story came out about the move that you are going to make. And one of the things that, from somebody from the outside looking in, during your 11 years as president, there's probably things you were maybe very appreciative of, it felt rewarded the most, and that might not have gotten a lot of publicity. But from an outside observer, I think during your tenure, I think the one thing that I will remember the most about your tenure was in the months after the COVID-19 outbreak came out, careottawacounty.org. I really think you, in terms of the CFHZ, your efforts and other nonprofits stepping up big time to fill the need, was your shining moment.
Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Gary. I'll never forget it. I will tell you that and it is something I am quite proud of. So thank you for saying something. I think, for whatever reason, I can't fully describe it. And it was not just me, there were others as well. But, when a moment like that hits, some people kick into high gear, and some people, can get really kind of hesitant, in a moment where everything's changing. No one knows up from down, left from right. Information was changing by the day. Honestly, going back to that gives a little PTSD, right? I mean, you literally every day there was new information, what you can do, can't do, where to go, what's going on. And I just I felt like the Community Foundation was here for that moment. And my team, my board, donors, myself as well, we stepped up and we just went after it. So thank you for saying something. I do think we made a difference, even if one of the main differences we made was we created an opportunity for people to engage in a moment where people were feeling helpless, feeling a little hopeless, feeling what's going on. I think we created an opportunity for people to take that moment and respond, either financially or with their time, or just feeling engaged and plugged in. Instead of sitting there and letting the world happen to us, we went out and tried to do something. And I think that's a human spirit thing. I think when you're feeling a little down, like you just want to do something and make it better and try to make improvements. I think we created a platform for that, which was remarkable. So I will say one thing you mentioned, as you were saying about things that maybe got unnoticed or things that I most appreciated. If I may, I will share that there's a lot of talk about our community being a very generous place. It is very true. Very, very, very generous community. But what I found most humbling during my 11 years of the Community Foundation is there's a whole lot of people who kind of just go about their daily business, but do it in ways where they really prioritize others. And it sometimes is in the forms of dollar gifts and charitable gifts. But there's also many, many other ways that don't always get headlines and stories and lots of zeros and whatever, of which ways that people manage their companies, ways that people show up for their neighbors, ways that people step up for people they don't even know. And I think that is I just will never forget some of the conversations I've had in people's living rooms where I was privileged to find out about some of the ways that they've made the world a better place and things that they're proud of, but they're not going to go and toot the horn about it. But I've been privileged to hear a whole lot of really cool ways that people have cared for others throughout their lifetimes or been cared for themselves in ways that I am very proud of this community. And some I've asked, can I share the story? And they've said, no, 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 not willing to do that. But I wish I could. Yeah, I wish I could, because there's things out there that people don't even know about that are happening in this town. And so that is a gift, to be able to have access to some of those stories and hear how people think. It makes me just want to go out and do everything. Like, these people are amazing and inspiring. So I will miss that. And hopefully whatever I'm doing next, I hope it includes some element of that, because I would deeply miss being a part of conversations with people at their best, when they're using their time, talent, and treasure to make a difference in the world.
Mike, tell us a little bit about Care Ottawa County. It's going to help distribute ARPA funds to the community and the foundations involved with it.
Yeah, many folks have probably seen in the paper that the Ottawa County has announced how they're spending a good portion of their ARPA funds, American Rescue Plan Act dollars. And Care Ottawa County, the group you just mentioned earlier, was involved in helping facilitate a portion of how those dollars would be distributed. We received applications in the human service space, particularly for childcare and mental health, as two big priorities, and funneled through many applications for how those dollars could be used in those areas. And so we hadn't talked about it on air, so I thought I'd put it on the agenda in case there's any listeners who have questions on that. It was a big process, and there was right up until the end, and it's not done. There are more steps to the process, and the county didn't spend all the resources, so there are still some more. But it's one of those things that's kind of a once in a generation deal, where I would guess we're probably never again going to have this kind of one-time set of resources to spend on community projects. And so it took a lot of care and thought and effort to make sure we were being wise on how those resources could make an impact. So really, there was one kind of very significant play on the childcare side. So that's a grant to ODC Network to help create 1,000 new childcare slots in partnership with the OAISD, the Ottawa Area Intermediate School District, and a number of companies and other childcare providers. That was a very big transformative grant and play of $7.5 million. And then there were about $2 million in grants related to mental health. And there were 5 of them total. One, an opportunity to try to attract more psychiatrists to our community, which is mental health professionals who can prescribe medication for folks who need medication to help manage the situation that they're in. We are meaningfully short on psychiatrists in our county. If you don't have a current psychiatrist and you need to see one, to get a first appointment can take anywhere from 4 to 6 months in our community, which is not a good, healthy thing. So we took a big swing at see if we could help mitigate that issue, and then a number of other smaller ones, working with Reach for Recovery around opioid abuse and some Medicaid assisted treatment working with the Children's Advocacy Center to help get through a backlog they have on kids who have reported sexual abuse but haven't made it through the full legal process yet. And then also a pilot project with 4 different organizations to help get a credential program for individuals who want to be direct care workers at organizations like Benjamin's Hope or Heritage Homes, working with members of our community that need a little extra assistance kind of round the clock, 24/7. These are very important roles, these direct care workers, and kind of in honoring the importance of that, developing a credential at Grand Rapids Community College that could help drive more people into those careers. So it was, wanted to both create space for it. If anyone had any questions, it's certainly the county made the ultimate decisions, but we played a meaningful role in filtering through a lot of good ideas to get to that point. So wanted to put it on the list for today.
All right, a couple other things as well. We're into the month of December, and most nonprofits and charitable organizations, they can get as much as maybe a quarter of their revenues in the month of December
Yeah.
alone. Tax write-off certainly is a thing. People are in the giving spirit and the like. Giving to the foundation this month, there are some avenues that the foundation does offer for giving, not just as a one-time gift, but also perhaps in terms of continual giving or legacy giving, Mike.
Yeah, that's right. There's so much giving we can talk about this year, and one that happened earlier this week was Giving Tuesday, and the national data around Giving Tuesday was it was the largest Giving Tuesday by a lot, and so that continues to gain a lot of momentum, which is fun and a really cool way to kick off this giving season. But yes, three things for listeners to think about as they get to the end of the year. One, when it comes to giving, the way our tax code is structured here in the United States of America is that if you're about to give some resources, it is oftentimes more tax advantageous for you to give an appreciated asset, oftentimes stock, but could be another appreciated asset, real estate or something else, as opposed to giving cash or check or credit card gift. And so this is planting a seed. If you're about to do some meaningful charitable giving at the end of the year, and you have some sort of appreciated asset kind of in your portfolio, consider gifting that appreciated asset. And if you like holding that asset, you could use cash to buy more of that stock if you wanted to. But it allows you to avoid capital gains tax, and you get the same income tax deduction as if you had written a check. So appreciated assets are a big thing to be considering. Second is there's these giving tools called donor advised funds. They're often called charitable checking accounts. There's a lot of different providers, not just the Community Foundation, but there are others that host these things. But this is it's the fastest growing giving tool in the nation for the last 15 years for a reason. Very flexible, very helpful in allowing people to organize their giving, make contributions at the end of the year. Maybe you find out you get a bonus from work, or you add up your income depending on what kind of position you have, and this is being a big year for you. You make a contribution this year into the donor advised fund, and then you can decide over the next 6, 12, 24 months where you want the dollars to go. So it allows you to make the gift this year and take some time to make some decisions. They're helpful on other fronts too. But donor advised funds, think about that as a potential giving tool that may help your giving. And please call us if you want to learn a little bit more about it, whether you work with us or someone else. Happy to share more information about how they are helpful giving tools. And then lastly, it happens all year long, but if you are someone who is over the age of 70 and a half, you may be, if you have a retirement account, you can make a qualified charitable distribution from your retirement account directly to charitable organizations, and it allows you to avoid taking that distribution as income. And that is a very helpful giving tool for folks that are of the age where they have to start taking distributions from their retirement accounts. So think about that as well. So those are three seeds to plant today: gifting appreciated assets, considering a donor advised fund as a giving vehicle, and if you're over 70 and a half, consider a qualified charitable distribution from a retirement account from an IRA that you have. But more importantly than the tools, it's the spirit. So while I'm here to kind of plant seeds on tools, what I encourage everyone to think about is this: for whatever reason, just the spirit that happens in the next month is a positive, uplifting, hopeful kind of spirit. If you're feeling moved to make generous charitable contributions to local organizations, please do so. Don't care who it is. Don't care what your priorities are, your passions are. Just the idea of being a community where giving happens generously is what we want to foster. So tools aside, generous season. I won't be back until January, so I won't talk to you all before then. So next month, feel the generosity and give to your community.
Yeah, it's one thing. Yeah, right now people are thinking about giving this time of year. Yeah. My point, and I've discussed it with you before, the trick is to think about giving, say, in April, or in August, when it's not in front of mind for a lot of people.
Yeah, no, and certainly I think that's what you want to do, right? I think we want to, needs in our community don't just crop up in December. In fact, oftentimes they're much more seen at other times of the year. So yes, generosity throughout the whole year. One of the best ways to do that, actually, and there is a growing movement around this, is if you're about to make a contribution to an organization at the end of the year. Let's just say you were going to make $100 contribution. Instead of giving $100, sign up to give $10 a month and have them just pull it out monthly. Okay, 12 months, it costs you $120 instead of 100. But the idea of that consistency actually is really helpful for nonprofits. It's also cool for you. You'll see it come out of your account, every month, and you'll be reminded, oh yeah, I support that organization or that cause or whatever else. So the monthly recurring giving is a really cool way to achieve what you're talking about, Gary. And I encourage folks to think about it.
If you have a question about what's going on at the Community Foundation of the Holland Zeeland area, a question about how you can give and the like, you can give the foundation a call. It's 396-6590. That's 616-396-6590. And the website, of course, is cfhz.org. That's cfhz.org. Mike Goorhouse, Community Foundation, as always, thank you very much for your time. I wish you and your family, as well as everyone involved with CFHC, nothing but the best for this Christmas season and New Year's. And we look forward to chatting with you next month and probably take a look at some more of those competitive grants. It's quarterly time to check out who's going to be getting stuff from the foundation.
You got it. I look forward to it.
Thank you very much, Mike Goorhouse, on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC. CBS News is next, top of the hour. More talk at the town after that on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC.